Today I have for you a 40-something minute video from a user. This user, who I guess typically makes like music and stuff, but they made this video essay thing on the ethics of boinking animal people. I was like, okay, is this going to be an interesting, like this is going to be somebody critically analyzing furries and being, you know, the furry to zoophile pipeline and stuff like that. And while there is a little bit of that, I'm just going to say, I'm just going to describe this video as being what I am afraid a video that I would make would become if I made this kind of video. Like, I don't make video essays, even though I watch a lot of them, because I live in fear that I would make this. It's a rambling, fairly incoherent mess that doesn't really answer any of the questions it brings up, and just raises a lot of questions in and of itself. It starts out, the thing about this is that it keeps getting me, it kept getting me hooked, where I was like, okay, I see where you're going. Where are you going with this? Where are you going with this? And then they wouldn't be going anywhere with this. It is a very strange video. By the end of it, I think you will all be very unhappy. I think you will all be very annoyed, but you know, don't harass the person or anything like that. This user, don't do anything like that. Somebody's like, show the video already. Oh, I'm sorry. Are we not moving at your pace, sir? My apologies. Hang on while I go light a fucking incense. You know, I wasn't gonna do this, but you know what, just for you. I don't know why there is an incense with the title, Go Away Evil, Go Away! Go away, evil! Go away! But, you know, I'll take it. I'll take it. So another thing worth mentioning in this video, before we get in, you might find yourself agreeing with certain things here. I certainly did. The person has a relatively funny, you know, sense of humor, a decent editing style, but there's also there's a lot of chaos also. There's just a good amount of chaos, and it's a very questionable video. I don't want to be too harsh on the person, because this user, they're just putting themselves out there. It's just opinions and stuff. But well, for some reason we begin this on Trisha Paytas's tits, and I'm not really sure why. I'm not really sure why.
Dogs have brains. Dogs are freaky. I think it's correct.
Lieutenant Data, Catgirls, it's all connected. Alpha and Omega was released in 2010 by Crest Animation Studios to wide...
So, you know, the immediate thing, now this says a lot about my fragility as a white, but I mean, the immediate thing, the black text on the white spine does draw my eyes, and also it's right next to their head. The book White Tears over here. Another one I'm drawn to is this one over here called Chouette, but we'll hear more about that at another time. That'll come up later. There's a lot of very interesting psychological stuff going on in this video, I gotta say that much. So we're talking about Alpha and Omega.
2010 by Crest Animation Studios to widespread critical derision and financial ruin. I shouldn't have been allowed to see this when I was 11. First off, these character designs. They have that E621 banner ad chic, that deviant art essence. They look like what you get when you ask a furry to draw a normal wolf. Animated animals aren't...
See, that's kind of funny. There's some jokes here that are funny. I can't argue. There are some jokes that might make me laugh and might make you laugh, and that's just something you'll have to deal with, chat members.
Supposed to look like this. They're supposed to be blobby and indistinct, not uncomfortably grounded and with weird human-like faces. This is how you...
So get used to how this movie, or get used to how this video is, by the way. This is how you depict a wolf, by the way. Let me just, there you go. You got a big giant-ass wolf. What the fuck movie? Is that like a joke? I don't know. Yeah. Get used to the way this video is, where we're starting out on Alpha and Omega, and I promise we will not be on Alpha and Omega for longer than maybe a minute or two. And by the end of this video, much like me restarting this video and being like, oh yeah, they started it with Alpha and Omega, right, my bad. I just completely fucking forgot that was even relevant to this at all.
Pick the wolf that's supposed to be cute and relatable to children. This is how you draw a wolf that makes you ponder what it would be like to kiss them. Second off, the things that happen in it, the events that transpire in the movie. Alpha and Omega is an explicitly romantic text. It's a furry visual novel made and marketed to children. It's
a furry visual novel. No, get used to furry visual novels. This user really likes furry visual novels, specifically one specific one.
Kate and Humphrey bone in this movie. Okay, they don't bone. They metaphorically bone. Let me explain. Really early on, the film introduces the concept of howling being this thing that is risque and taboo, and the wolves snicker about it.
We can eat together,
but we can't, howl together.
This is a really odd and sudden world-building element.
So yeah, another thing about this video, they're always kind of jumping around and like backing into walls and fucking changing outfits. There's a part where they're in like really short shorts. I want to prepare you for that, chat members.
Kind of blindsides the average viewer. Like, we know that wolves howl. Why is this cutie preceding it with a curt, you know? It's because howling is sex. It's horny when the wolves howl.
Well, chat member, the whole this user thing is based on another stream you wouldn't understand. This user is the opinion basher. This user has the letter anime in their name. If they don't like Madoka Magica, then they don't like all anime. Take that, user.
This is the Midnight Howl. It's
the name is Patricia Taxon. I also don't want to draw attention to. I don't necessarily want to draw negative attention to anybody, so I'm trying to be somewhat,
the second best scene in the movie. It's where the
not a bully stream, as they say.
Howling sex metaphor is drawn most explicitly. It's also where we're introduced to Garth.
I'm not even sure what he looks like, but I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. I said hear me out. Garth is introduced.
So, Garth here is just a wolf. Like, it's not really an anthropomorphic cartoon cat, like, Bugs Bunny kind of thing. You can't even say that. I mean, it does have intelligence as far as the movie goes. Because it's an animated movie where animals talk. But it's still just a wolf. And there's some very troubling reasoning as to why, well, I don't want to spoil too much for you, but there are some very questionable things that are raised in this video, and you might already be able to tell the direction that it's going in. But I think Patricia here would assure you that it is not headed in that direction, and that it's stupid to suggest such a thing. I'm glad that I let that go away evil incense,
Girl Kate. He's the alpha dog of the warring pack, whose wed would unite the nations under Wolf God or something. And Garth is hot. He's a bona fide hunk. But here's the rub. He can't howl. He's bad at howling.
Was it, good for you?
Horny movie. Garth is also the star of this movie's B-plot.
So I mean, I kind of glossed over the part where the line about like Garth is hot, Garth is sexy, or he's a hunk or whatever. Because I think that's saying that in the context of the movie, which yeah, it seems that way. Like he seems to be the sexy hunky guy character in that movie. In the context of the film, I don't know if they're saying that Garth is sexy and hunky and hot in real life, or like to them. But it kind of also feels that way because of the hear me out and all of that. So, but okay.
Good for you.
Horny movie. Garth is also the star of this movie's B-plot, the only part I care about. While Kate and Humphrey are having their generic buddy-buddy adventure out in the Idahoan wilderness, we're also treated to scenes of Garth, back at home, slowly getting to know and falling in love with Kate's Omega sister, me.
It's a turtle that fell and can't get up.
Me.
That's pretty good.
Okay, what's this? It's turtle roadkill.
She only does turtles. That's the joke, is she only does turtles.
What else can you do?
I just do turtles.
She's me. The romantic development between...
So, I started watching this last night, and again, I was like half asleep or whatever, and I'm just like, do I really want to keep watching? But there was a curiosity there, and I'm really glad that I pushed through because man, I was already. I gotta tell you, Chad, if you're annoyed at this point, man, you're not ready for when we get to this part over here, and in this part here. You see this segment over here. There's a part over here that's not. It's kind of it's fairly irritating to witness, but
Between these two characters changed my little puppy brain chemistry when I saw it. There's the scene where Garth is teaching Lily how to hunt and pounce, and it's cute because
you heard that correctly, by the way. Puppy brain chemistry.
she's bad at it, and Garth is helping her. But when Garth notices that like her goth head fluff is covering one of her eyes, he just
Maybe this will help.
Oh yeah, no, it gets a lot worse. They're really holding back on the whole. I mean, I already say it in the title. Dog person. They're really holding back on the little puppy brain chemistry thing at this point in time. They're gonna get into it more.
wow. Do that to me. They could have just had him anthropomorphically wipe her head fluff away with his paw, but no, they had to call attention to his doggy face and how it would feel on your face. He goes in there with this fucking snoot.
I don't think that that's like meant to be the takeaway. This is really proof that I guess, yeah, Alpha and Omega has always been held up as a furry movie and everything, and like this is really proof that like if you, depending on what cartoons you show your kids, that's just how you give your children fucking fetishes when they grow up. Like Totally Spies is the great example, or Lola Bunny, or any cartoon with like fart fetishes and shit. That's the classic. And yeah, this is like, I don't think the movie was necessarily intended to be like a fucking an awakening for furries or whatever. I think it was intended to be probably just the same kind of like a 3D version of like Lady and the Tramp kind of thing. That's what I thought last night when I was watching this. It was like Lady and the Tramp, kind of like the spaghetti and meatballs scene, that thing. That sort of thing. Like that draws attention to the dog features just as much. But it's not drawing attention. It's just a dog. Like you are paying attention to it because of something that's up with you. And we'll actually get more into what sort of childhood might have led to this sort of thing happening. The dog, the puppy brain chemistry and whatnot. There's certain things that are kind of interesting about that. But yeah, no, you are kind of, a lot of this video is going to be this person making some big making some big interpretations of things that are fairly interesting interpretations. Let's just put it that way. I mean, I'm not going to say the Alpha and Omega movie. Obviously, that has also led to other people becoming furries too. But I'm just saying, I don't know if the animators were specifically like, yeah, the little 5-year-olds want to know what fucking what's-his-name's muzzle feels like against them. No, I think that's you. I think that's you wondering that. I don't think the movie is really... What is the scene?
Just
Maybe this will help.
I mean, it would have... Honestly, it would have just... I think it's probably just cheaper to have done that. Oh, they specifically drew attention to his muzzle or whatever. No, they didn't want to have to animate the dog reaching his paw up and moving the hair out of the face. They just had the dog's face there already. I guess you could say that, or it's just a thing that they do because they're fucking dogs. Like, I don't know. This is like you looking at two dogs like having sex, and you're like, that's explicitly drawing attention to it. What else am I supposed to think? Then the animals are hot. I don't know.
wow. Do that to me. They could have just had him anthropomorphically wipe her head fluff away with his paw, but no, they had to call attention to his doggy face and how it would feel on your face. He goes in there with this fucking snoot. And then Lily teaches Garth how to howl, which means this little goth girl has secretly been such a goddess in bed that she can just impart her wisdom onto any old fool who captures her fancy. It's so cute. It's so fucking cute. This, in case you didn't know.
They're really drawing a lot of attention to, like, the sex angle of this kid's movie. Which I don't know. I haven't seen it. Contrary to the bear icon, I'm not a furry. I have no interest in alpha and omega, and I don't really need that in my life. But I don't know if the howling thing is generally agreed upon to be fucking. I guess maybe that is kind of fucking strange for this movie. This is saying a lot about how weird this movie is.
Oh, this is a furry degenerate YouTube.
I was wrong, by the way, because this is now bordering on 4 minutes, and they have been discussing this movie for a bit, and it is actually relevant, as you can see, to the overall concept of the video, which is this, is it okay to want to fuck animal people? But the thing is, those are just animals. They're not really animal people. It's not the same as, like, the wanting to fuck, you know, an anthro furry, like fucking Sonic the Hedgehog or whatever, like, or, you know, they're not like a human analog, but in like an analog or an animal body or whatever. They're just fucking wolves. So this is just weird at this point in time.
Channel. It was just subtextual for a while, but then I got the stick out my ass and stopped hating myself. I made an album with Furry Bulge on the cover, and a member of Autechre paid for it. When I talk about being a
To be fair, that's not nothing. Autechre is a pretty cool band.
Inevitably, a paw full of lice crawl out of the woodworks to call me a zoophile. This is annoying, but not unexpected. All of you real ones out there probably get this comment on the daily as
Thank you,
well.
Fuzo.
It's such a common occurrence that we have a built-in series of counter-arguments, and
So this is where we're getting into the part about how don't call us zoophiles.
here, inevitably, a paw full of lice crawl out of the woodworks to call me a zoophile. This is annoying, but not unexpected. All of you real ones out there probably
So this person has probably been called a zoophile many times, I guess, for various reasons. There's probably stuff that... Huh. Why would people consistently be calling you a zoophile? And then, this is the first I've ever heard about any of this. But then, like, this video goes into why they're totally not a zoophile, and already I'm kind of convinced that you might be. So, like, I don't know what existing info there was that people are coming out of the woodwork to call you a zoophile. But, like, huh. Okay, but they're not. They're not.
a zoophile. This is annoying, but not unexpected. All of you real ones out there probably get this comment on the daily as well. It's such a common occurrence that we have a built-in series of counter-arguments, and unfortunately they all suck. This might be a bit controversial of me to say, but furries are not philosophers. The most common of these counter-arguments is to just flatly deny that the fandom is sexual in nature. Some of you will just parade into any discussion that outsiders are having about us to inform them that actually the fandom is very wholesome and the sexual part is a safely ignorable minority. And to that I say, what about me, bitch? I'm a doggy. I yearn to be cherished and owned.
So yeah, the thesis statement of the video essay, if you will. It's like the alternate title of the video, I suppose.
I want my free will to be slowly eroded by a monstrously controlling force of love and acceptance. I yearn to live
Oh, like Jehovah, nice.
the puppyhood I never had, but I'm an adult now with adult desires, and this complicates things. If the opportunity presented itself, I would fuck my— Sorry, I'm like her. And
So what was that? What exactly was that alluding to there? If the opportunity presented itself.
I yearn to live the puppyhood I never had, but I'm an adult now with adult desires, and this complicates things. If the opportunity presented itself, I would fuck my— Sorry, I'm like her. And
So is that yes then? I thought you weren't a zoophile. Is that just a yes? What was that leading to? Was that a confession? Because it sounds like it. This is what I mean when I say it gets so close to saying that they are, and it never really says that they aren't. From what I remember anyway, I don't think there's ever a part that, like, there's the part where it's like, oh, well, no, I'm not. That's stupid that a paw full of lice would call me a zoophile. But then you get that, and then there's a part later where it's like, I think the line is like, can you leave me alone with your cat? There's no answer to that question, by the way. That's like a rhetorical question that is asked and then not answered. Yeah, I mean, well, spoilers, but we're getting to it.
Yeah, my interest in furries is primarily sexual. I like it when a boy is also an animal. I like fur. The sensory prospect of a sexy man being a little fuzzy makes my head spin. If your argument doesn't leave room for this, you aren't my fucking ally.
Okay, I don't need to be your ally, friend. Go read your White Tears and Gods Without Men book. That sounds. I mean, it's just funny. So the funny thing about this is the exact... You know how yesterday I was saying that the heel versus babyface guy is like the exact picture-perfect, like, typecast of what you would expect that stereotype to be, like screaming about, feminism or whatever on the internet. Like bald, angry white man with a beard, like red in the face, looks like an egg. This person with the cat ears and the White Tears book and just all of the doggy stuff, this is the exact opposite of that. This is like, wow, you couldn't fucking cast in a film somebody in and set it better for that kind of... I mean, that's wild.
A common modification to this argument is to just abstract away the animalistic appeal of furry porn, as if it's just like being into elf chicks or something. Like, no one here is actually into fuzzy little paws and ears and snoots wherever they may arise.
Wherever they may arise. Wherever. Now, that can be taken as wherever the fuzzy paws and snoots may be applied to me. Like, oh, I'd love the dog to lick me here, or whatever. Which is also bad, kind of, actually, now that I'm saying it. Actually, that's also pretty bad. Or it can be taken as, wherever I can get fuzzy paws and snoots, I will take it, wherever they arise. So, I think, again, I want to stress, I didn't even notice this really last night when I was watching this. But I want to stress that, like, they say that people are already calling them a zoophile. And for reasons why I do not know. But this is the explanation for why they are not, and why furries aren't, or something. And it's really not a good explanation about that. It's not a very good explanation of why they are not a zoophile, because I am now just thinking that you kind of are a little bit. Personally, that's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but you are not explaining yourself very well if that is not the case. Without any context before having watched this video, I am now of the opinion that you probably shouldn't be left alone with my cat. Had I the cat, I don't believe I would leave it alone with you, no.
I don't like this either. In Ad Astra, whenever the main character kisses Amicus, the prose makes a point of noting how long and mobile his wolfy tongue is.
Somebody says, I really don't know. I don't. I do believe I've seen this person's name on Kiwi Farms before at some point. But I don't think I ever clicked on the thread. It seemed... I think I might have... Like, I may have. I know. Because I saw the name last night and I was like, that seems familiar. But I'd never seen any of their videos, and none of the channels seemed like anything I would watch or have show in my feed, really. So that might have been it. If there's like a bunch of info about like... Oh man, that's man. I might need to do some looking into that. I don't know.
And it's the hottest thing I've ever thought about. God makes no mistakes. That is an erotic passage written with the intent to get across what it would be like to kiss a wolf, like a whole ass wolf. They are invoking a wolf head for the purposes of titillating their furry audience. What's up with that? This is not an isolated incident. Furries write about animal features the way male writers write about women. She pawed fuzzily to the stairs and floofed downwards. In this video...
See, that's funny. I can't argue with that. That's funny. Yeah, there's some joke. The video's got some jokes, you know.
I'm going to be arguing the case that this isn't morally comparable to zoophilia, but I'm going to lay my cards on the table first. With regards to the ethics of boinking animal people, I am biased because I think that shit's hot. I am engaging in motivated reasoning, and even more.
Can you just get a chair, though? I don't know. But the thing is, you're saying animal people, but there's multiple examples in this video of things where it's not really like, again, like a Sonic or a fucking like a BoJack Horseman or some shit. It's like the Alpha and Omega example where it's just a wolf. It's just a fucking cartoon, like a normal wolf, like animal wolf, but it's got like a personality and it's voiced by a celebrity or something. So it's like technically an intelligent creature or something. Or there's one example later that's from an anime movie where it's about sort of a transformation thing, and it's like, well, they can transform between, you know, completely ordinary looking animal and human, and so that therefore that's fine that I want to fuck that. And there's further reasoning for why this is okay that's even more questionable
than you'd think.
There's further reasoning that gets into even more questionable territory.
I have OCD and I live in constant paralyzing vigilance on the matters of my own moral integrity.
Also, we have to just assume that we have to take their word for it about their moral integrity. Don't worry, I wouldn't do anything weird because of my moral integrity.
It's coffee. However, if society's ills could only be articulated in good faith by those who couldn't stand to benefit from them changing, then nothing would ever fucking change.
Yeah, it is kind of like Crimson Rogue, but like Crimson Rogue is just sitting down and is like chilling. Like, yeah, no, the thing is like, I've seen videos, like I watch videos like this. If this video was like fucking like 40% less too much, then maybe and it wasn't about this. I mean, I watched this in the first place because I'm like, well, this seems like maybe an interesting insight into why people, like, whatever. I thought it was going to be... I didn't think it was going to be this. Let's just put it that way.
Change. We're in this together, bitch.
I can't talk. Like, yes, they walk. So someone's like, no, they have brains. And I was like, okay, but they can't talk.
Another bad argument.
I don't know why that's happening in this video, by the way, the Trisha Paytas with tits. I think it's like a remix that they made of Trisha Paytas talking about dogs or something, so I guess that's relevant, I guess.
That furries tend to fall back on in response to bad faith allegations of zoophilia is the tried and tested Harkness test.
So somebody asks what counts as furry in the chat, and we're actually about to get into that. There is some stuff in this video that starts, or at least starts out, giving you like an interesting... This is what I said, like, multiple times in this video, I'm like, okay, all right, let them cook. You know, let's hear it. Let's hear what they have to say. The Harkness test thing is...
Summarized in a handy infographic, it goes as follows. So you want to fuck a fictional creature. Give it the Harkness test first. Does it have human intelligence, or greater? Can it talk or otherwise communicate with language? Is it of sexual maturity for its species? If the answer to all three is yes, then you can fuck it. It's a non-human creature with sapience, and all you need to have consensual sex...
Hey, listen,
if the answer
it's
is
hard.
no,
Autism does speak, man.
One or more, watch out. That's bestiality or possibly pedophilia. Don't fuck it.
So this is based on Torchwood, Jack Harkness, Doctor Who character, very racy show where I guess he'd fuck a lot of different alien creatures and stuff. And so I guess this is based on that. It's kind of a meme. It's not really meant to be taken too seriously. But it's also not a very great thing. I mean, like, you apply this to... You can apply this to a lot of stuff, but it's like, does it have human intelligence or greater? The Alpha and Omega wolf. Well, no, it's a wolf. It's just that the context of the movie, we can't have a movie where it's just wolves just being fucking wolves, so it's a cartoon movie where they're talking. They're not really meant to be hyper-intelligent, human-like wolves. That's just how the movie is portraying them. Can it talk or otherwise communicate with language? Not with fucking humans, no. Not in that movie. Is it of sexual maturity for its species? That's kind of, I don't know, up for fucking debate to some extent, but I don't know. That's another one where it's like, I mean, for its species, I don't know. It's very strange for this to be taken seriously in some manner. I don't think they're taking it that seriously, but, you know.
So, if you want to fuck a fictional creature, first ascertain if it's as smart as you, can give verbal consent, and is of age for whatever culture it came from. Surely...
Yeah, but not... That's fictional characters and creatures and stuff. You're talking about, like, animals. Animal people. I mean, furry animal people don't exist. But, like, the fucking wolf thing in Alpha and Omega is just a wolf. You can't tell me that it's not a little bit weird for you to, like, be into a wolf. You know? Like, it's just a regular old... It's basically just a regular old dog. And there's nothing stopping you from just having a regular old dog. And then we just have to assume that, oh, but your moral integrity stops you from whatever. What was the thing about, I have OCD, so I live in fear of my moral whatever. So we have to assume that that's what's keeping them from doing something to their dog or something. But they already said that if the opportunity presented itself, they would have sex with... And then they just cut, and then there was a meme. I think there was a meme.
Then it's ethically sound to fuck animal people, provided they are shown to talk and give consent like any human adult would. They're just shaped a little weird. I don't like this argument. I don't think it's persuasive to the people we're trying
Chat members, I already said to try and be nice, please. I understand your frustration. Please stay on the line. Your call is important to
persuade
us.
And isn't really persuasive in general. You probably know where I'm going with this, but I'll say it anyways. You guys know Scooby-Doo passes the Harkness test, right? It is.
Yeah, that made me laugh last night because, I guess it's true, yes. Scooby-Doo can communicate with humans and is, I think it passes all three, actually, so...
Is unquestionably ethically sound to fuck Scooby-Doo, provided you get his consent and are a resident of Crystal Cove in real life. But these aren't the terms of the discussion. This is not a moral question any of us will ever have to consider, unfortunately. You could fuck Scooby-Doo if he was real, but he's not, and you are. Your wants and actions have ramifications in this world.
But you can fuck a dog. You shouldn't, don't. But you could do that, and that's the thing, is, you know, I don't know, why are we to just assume that you won't, I guess, if you're super attracted to dogs when they're in cartoon form? I don't know.
Horny son of a... And obviously, if furries existed, you could fuck them if
Unfortunately.
they wanted you to. But...
Okay, yeah, what was that?
Any of us will ever have to consider, unfortunately. You could fuck Scooby-Doo if he was real, but he's not.
I think that was probably meant to be a joke.
And you are. Your wants and actions have ramifications in this world, you horny son of a... And
so what they're saying there, I guess, is it's not okay to fuck animals because your wants and actions have ramifications. And you horny so-and-so, how dare you? Yeah, but a lot of people don't give a shit or rationalize it, so that's not good enough, really. I mean, yeah, you're right. You sure are right. That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point, Mega Man. But that's not really gonna fucking stop people.
Obviously, if furries existed, you could fuck them if they wanted you to, but they don't. The action of which we are trying to assess morality has always been the depiction.
What does he mean? Sorry. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, I did it. Oh, jeez. What do they mean with that?
The action of which we are trying to assess morality has always been...
But furries, though. You say furries.
And obviously, if furries existed,
if furries
you could fuck
existed,
them if they wanted you to, but they don't.
They do, though, but furries do. Fursuiters do, and, like, if that's what you mean. I don't think that's what you mean. What you mean is, like, dogs, like, but again, you're talking about, like, Alpha and Omega, where it's just a dog. It's just a fucking wolf. It's not... You're specifically drawing attention to the animal features and all that. It's not the human aspect of how cool he is or whatever. It's all of his fucking snoot on my face or whatever. It's all of this shit. So you can just have a dog. That's why people have issues with this.
Depiction is not endorsement, and I'm not here to argue against that, because it's true. Depiction is not necessarily endorsement, but depiction is an action that it exists in the world and can be judged.
So this is kind of getting into, like, lolicon and stuff like that, like talking about drawn versions of, like, I guess, what do you say, it's not feral, what is it again? It's like, the term for it when it's furry porn, but it's just animals, that sort of thing, I guess that's what That's what's happening now?
What are you doing in the universe when you post a piece of hypno H-kink incest erotica on Twitter? Well, you're not actually fucking your little sister. I think we can both agree on that. But
is it feral? Okay, yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, it's, yeah, I think that's what they're talking about, but now they're talking about hypno age play kink. What? Look at this, look at these tweets. I mean, that's pretty funny. Do you know this person?
Well, you're not actually fucking your little sister. I think we can both agree on that. But you're doing something, right? Listen, I get it. I partake in scenarios of unspeakable sexual abuse with my friends every day. Fun. I'm literally neurodivergent and a grown-up.
So when I heard that, I'm just immediately thinking, I mean, I'm sorry, but furries, a group of furry friends participating in unspeakable sexual abuse. I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna have to raise the Sangi a little bit. I don't do it out of hate. I just do it out of concern and frustration and disappointment.
But because of this, I am intimately familiar with the ways in which the most fucked up shit possible can be made not only permissible, but wholesome and comforting. With
yeah, boy howdy, so am I. I sure have seen a few of those types of things in the past. Just recently, in fact, there was the fishy couple. There was Snake Thing, obviously, and all of his ooh-woo rapism comes to mind. I've definitely, I know what you're talking about. Know what you're talking about there.
The Kuleshov effect or something. Now imagine if I used my powers for evil. The hypothetical hypno...
I have been imagining that, yes, and I'm currently imagining that, and I think I'm going to continue imagining that, actually.
H-kink incest erotic.
What's funny is last night I saw this, and I guess it was because I was like half asleep. I didn't really fucking register what I was like. And now I'm watching this and I'm like, well, this is a lot worse than it was bad enough that I was like, okay, this has to be a stream. But it was like so much, it's kind of a lot worse now.
Like a thread on Twitter isn't just...
And by the way, this is not until we haven't even gotten to the part that I said that was extremely uncomfortable, which is toward the end in this part where they're in green up against this bed. They start talking about, being a doggy and wanting to be petted and stuff. I won't spoil it too much, but it's as I say, it's quite irritating.
Or an indulgence. It's an aesthetic idea because you're an artist. And I don't know, maybe it shouldn't be illegal or even really morally frowned upon, but at the very least, the very transparent thematic content of your niche erotica can and should be criticized on a moral basis. Like, because it's art. It doesn't matter if your Twitter bio says you're not a person, you're still an artist. So behind the simple question that I used as clickbait for the title of this video, is it okay to fuck furries, is...
No, it was on the ethics of boinking animal people. We have, like, different definitions, because that's not what the title is, and I don't mean to be semantic here, but, you know, animal people implied to me that they are people animals, like the people vultures from the King Gizzard song. But they're like people animals, and they, you know, are, again, like Bojack, or even just like Sonic, just like, you know, it's basically just a person, but it's like kind of an animal-themed creature. Because Sonic's not really a hedgehog, right? And just like Bugs Bunny is not really a bunny. Like, he's a bunny-themed humanoid anthro thing. So it's like, that's an animal person as I view it. Where it's like, okay, you can make an argument for that a little bit, sure. It's like, it's got a brain and a fucking, you know, like, it's to walking and talking and laying Acme bombs and fucking traps and shit for people. So like, all right, fine, you know. You can maybe argue that. But you're talking specifically about, like, dogs from a movie where it's mainly it's just dog. They're not dog people. It's not like Star Fox. They're just fucking wolves. They're just wolves. It's just, if you could argue Star Fox, maybe. I don't have a huge problem with that, because it's like, what, they could fucking fly spaceships? They can't fuck? Whatever, fine. It's not my thing, but fucking you wanna bang Star Fox? Go for it. Fuck it. But this is not Star Fox. It's like fucking we're talking about specifically Alpha and Omega. And also just highlighting the animal features and Scooby-Doo and unfortunately, and there's just a lot. It's just a lot.
The more complicated and nuanced question of what are the moral ramifications for harboring sexual attraction towards furries? Does it speak favorably to one's character? Is the world depicted in horny furry art a more...
So, actually, funny thing, somebody in chat says this. I want to point this out. I'm gonna change it up slightly because we are trying to be lovely people here. If only this user wasn't subjected to such sus talking animal films, they wouldn't have become such a degenerate. Funny thing about that, as I said before, we're getting into childhood stuff later in this video. There are some things that are kind of thrown in as like cursory throwaway joke lines or whatever, which raise and answer a lot of questions. And other things that are brought up in similar fashion, yes, I just want to let you know that there are twists and there are revelations to be had. It's a very interesting video.
Morally just one? Can you leave me in a room with your cat?
So yeah, can you leave me in a room with your cat? That's not answered. It's just kind of brought up as a funny joke.
Just one? Can you leave me in a room with your cat?
But they sure do have a cat, don't they? I guess it's okay, because their whole thing is dogs, so...
So in order to assess the morality of hot furry art, we must first invent the universe. No, we must first define what a furry is. Let's be honest, we're overdue.
So even now when even now when a fucking chair has been found in the house, we're still just all over the chair and fucking doing like splits on the chair, and it's like that fucking scene from Family Guy where William Shatner is like fucking having bonitis in his captain's chair.
For a robust definition of furry that isn't dependent solely on self-ID. So we don't have any more YouTubers running multi-season arcs about being drawn as a ferret without anyone informing them of the writing on the wall. Furries really like Zootopia.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Like, furries
on self-ID. So for a robust definition of furry.
So we're getting into a definition, by the way, of furry. I don't want to gloss over that too much. We're getting into the definition of what it means to be a furry here, which is ultimately furry gatekeeping, as far as I can tell. It's kind of strange, but...
isn't dependent solely on self-ID. So we don't have any more YouTubers running multi-season arcs about being drawn as a ferret without anyone informing them of the writing on the wall. Furries...
So I don't know what that's in reference to. My initial thought when I heard that last night was, is it sort of like when people say I'm a furry because of my, like, bear avatar thing? And it's like, you know you're a furry, the writing on the wall, that kind of thing? Or is it like... I'm not sure exactly what that's getting at, but I'm sure people in this circle of furry people get that joke or something.
Really like Zootopia. It's got anthropomorphic animals in it, but I don't think it counts. For the next several minutes, I will be making the bold assertion that furry is a related but distinct category from cartoon animal creature, and this is a necessary building block for my argument that furry porn is cool and normal. Hope you're ready. So, in my magnum opus, Art Furry's God, I accidentally articulated the appeal of furry art in one...
They say magnum opus. I watched this video. It's basically the same kind of thing as this video. It's like all over the place and tangential, but it's not talking about zoophilia and a lot of sus shit. And it's way more boring. Say what you will about this video, there's a lot of energy to it. There's jokes, there's snappy editing. This video is just really kind of dull. I don't know about magnum opus. I think this is the magnum opus.
Sentence as an aside.
The furry aesthetic as a whole.
Oh, guys, can we get a big clap in chat for Fuzo? I now own all the rap skins in Modern Warfare 2. Guys, he's coming to get you. He's coming to get you. He's coming to get you. He has all the skills he needs to get you.
Is a concession towards the symbolic, the sensory, the ever so slightly autistic.
And Yeah, let's go with that. The 3 axes of furry art are the symbolic, the sensory, and the autistic. Zootopia.
So we're gonna run with this definition, which is kind of funny to an extent, to tie explicitly autism to furries. Which is, I guess, funny because this person is autistic and a furry. They can say that, but autism is brought up a lot in this person's catalog. One of the other videos I saw that they did was something to the effect of like, "Don't hug me, the autistic terror of don't hug me, I'm scared." And they keep mentioning autism throughout this fucking video in ways that started to get extremely irritating to me as I watched it. So this first time, it's kind of funny to be haha furry's autism, but I think it keeps happening like a few fucking times, and it gets a little bit annoying.
Zootopia is none of these things, clearly, whereas a core fandom...
It's neurotypical. Zootopia is just a neurotypical film. It doesn't get a 10 out of 10.
Work like Echo exemplifies all 3. But this is still a little vague.
So...
A core fandom work like Echo
over here, whatever the fuck this is some kind of fucking furry sex VN, I guess, which is mentioned here multiple times, plus the sequel to it, which was already mentioned, or like not sequel, but follow-up from the same developer. That was mentioned earlier. This is mentioned now. This is mentioned continuously throughout this video. This was also mentioned in the Art Furry's God video. It reminded me, like, this is why I say, like, this made me... This is the type of video that I would be afraid that I'd make if I made a video essay. Like, it would just be kind of discoordinated and just all over the place and kind of jumbled. I don't know if you're picking up on that vibe just yet, because we are still kind of early in the video, and but yeah, it's kind of all over the place. So is the other one, but it actually ties up at the end in a sort of more of a bow. But yeah, the other big thing was just like, if I make a video that's like a video essay and I've got, you know, and I want to make like references to things, or I want to compare things, you know, I'd be worried about drawing too much from the same well. Like, I don't want to compare every game to Persona 5 or every movie to whatever. It would be like if Super Eye Patch Wolf just compared every anime thing that he talks about to One Piece or something, or if I compared everything to One Piece or something. And yeah, frequently bringing up this Echo thing that very few people have ever heard of outside of like gay furry sex havers. So other people are just kind of left to be like, okay, I guess tell us whatever you want about this game. I guess this like VN about fucking your animal friends. It's just not a very, you can bring something like this up in a video like this. I like how I'm criticizing the video essayness of this while people are freaking out about all the dog fucking. It's like, that's also fair. But I'm just pointing out, like, you can bring up something that's obscure or whatever as like an example. That's fine. But we're just getting into it now. This remains consistent throughout this video and becomes a thing in the previous video that this is like a sequel to.
Exemplifies all 3. But this is still a little vague. So let's fill in our paradigm with more data points. Can I quantify and exemplify all 3 of these axes in isolation? Yes.
This person's trying really hard to be like overly intellectual. Again, like I said earlier, it reminds me of like Ben Shapiro talking about the Barbie movie and trying super hard to sound really smart about the Barbie movie and overinflate how important and correct his opinion must be because he talks with such vigor and gusto about the Barbie movie. It must be, and that's kind of the vibe I get here. Like, can we corroborate these axes with the quantification? Like, just fucking say what you're trying to say, dude. But here we get Mouse, and we're about to compare Mouse to the movie Zootopia, so get ready for that. If you're familiar with Mouse, you know that that's kind of fucking strange. If you're not, you already saw the Hitler swastika on the cover, so... yeah, it's kind of strange.
Can I quantify and exemplify all 3 of these axes in isolation? Yes. Mouse, by Art Spiegelman, is a graphic novel that, in part, depicts a survivor's account of the Holocaust as it was told to the author by his father. It is unrelenting, uncompromising, harrowing, and for some reason, absolutely filled with furries. Like, they're just everywhere. A lot has been written about Art Spiegelman's decision to overwhelmingly feature anthropomorphic mice in his tell-all memoir about his troubled relationship with his Holocaust survivor dad, but I specifically want to draw comparison to Zootopia.
Okay. All right. See, this is what I'm saying. All right. Let them cook. Let's figure out what's going on here. Let's hear what they have to say. Zootopia versus Mouse. Go, 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 go. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot has been written about Mouse, apparently. It's not, but it's pretty obvious. It's even said later in this video. It's the whole, you know, these people are vermin kind of thing, that imagery. So I don't know, there's not that much to say about it as like a furry thing. I wouldn't say Mouse. This is what I'm saying. Like, the fucking furries have to come along and assume that everything, that just because it has like a fucking anthropomorphic mouse in it, like, that doesn't make it a furry manifesto or some shit. It just means that the guy is using imagery and using like a fucking metaphor based on like Nazi propaganda or something. It's not a furry book. I'm sorry.
With regards to how they both employ animal imagery. Because they might seem similar at first. They both employ animal imagery as a proxy for race. They're both seminal works within furry canon, but they're not the same. Mouse is several times better than Zootopia for a lot of the same reasons that it is also several times more furry in conception. The biggest difference is the world building. Zootopia
Mouse is more furry than Zootopia, ladies and gentlemen. I want to point out, by the way, as far as I remember anyway, maybe it's not correct. Maybe I'm Yakuza 1-ing it, where I remember that game being way longer than it was. But as far as I remember, this segment about Mouse and Zootopia takes like a fucking considerable chunk of this video, which is not really related to the main point of the video. This is all in effort to define what makes something furry. And it's arguing that Mouse is more of a furry work than Zootopia because of its world building or something.
has this lavish world filled with little critters going around and interacting with each other. There's infrastructure with special consideration given to their sizes and shapes. The world building of Mouse, on the other paw, is non-existent.
On the other paw, you know, how's every pony doing today?
There is none. It's a purely aesthetic layer on what is otherwise a completely human story.
There's absolutely no reason at all as to why the characters are animals.
Art Spiegelman even finds time in the novel to toy with the nonsense nature of his world's primary aesthetic conceit.
So there's like nothing to it that makes it furry other than the fact that it's like furry animal people, so that therefore it's super furry, obviously. Man, this is like those people that I've heard of but never encountered before, and maybe this is not a real thing, but I've heard of people who are like really, really forceful to certain people, especially young people, where it's like you're in high school, whatever, you're kind of questioning your sexuality a bit, and there's like people on Instagram who are like, oh, you know what that means? You're definitely whatever, either trans or gay or whatever, and it's just like trying to like impose something. It's the same kind of thing, and that's not just this person, but like all furries kind of have that like, no, you're definitely furry. You just don't understand. I'm so fucking triggered by people telling me that I'm a fucking furry because of the stupid fucking bear avatar. For fuck's sakes. Well, I'm so fucking over that, man. You know, like, I'm sick of people fucking trying to assume my fucking furry gender, goddammit.
Like, hilariously, whenever Vladek is out disguised as a Polish man, he just draws him in a crude paper pig mask. There's a scene with actual rats in it.
Just waiting to break out of your cocoon. Yeah, that kind of thing. I do remember there was a video I saw of a kid, like, it was like teenager, I don't know, young adult, but like, crying, fucking breaking down in tears about all the people that were like trying to tell them to like transition just because it was like, but I just want to wear makeup or whatever. Like it was I don't know, that's definitely a thing that happens sometimes, and I do feel like furries tend to do that a lot too, where it's like that kind of like, no, you like animals, don't you? Well, furry people are just friendly, cuddly animal people. It's the best. Why wouldn't you be a furry? And it's like that kind of, Yeah, I don't know.
And no one stops to say, oh, that one looks like my uncle. Art Spiegelman plays himself in this book. And at one point, he starts talking about one of his previous comics with his family. And we get an extra...
Oh, the egg thing, right. The furry egg. Right, yeah. Furzu? I've never heard of that. But anyways, we're getting into this whole thing about Mouse, and I really, having not read Mouse, I do own it. I plan to read it at some point. I bought it when it was like being fucking banned, and I was like, yeah, you know, whatever. I might as well. I saw it in a store. I'm like, yeah, because it was selling out everywhere. I was just like, yeah, I'll pick it up while I see it. So I have it. I might read it eventually. I know it's pretty good. Pretty good, I think, might be a bit of an understatement. I understand it's quite good, but I don't think it's really comparable. The reasoning that this is being compared to Zootopia is, I think, mainly because Zootopia also depicts like a race themed, like racist theming or like racial theming in Zootopia between like animals as stand-ins for human races, basically. You know, this is, I guess, doing a similar thing, but it's doing it in a very different way, in a different medium, in a different style and like tone, and for different reasons and a different audience.
And we get 2 full pages of real human Art Spiegelman's comic before we cut back to a bunch of fucking mice talking about it. Now, this is obviously preferable from a political standpoint. Like, if you're writing a story about genocide, it should be about human races. I think that's pretty obvious. But at the same time, it also makes Mouse a furrier work of art. You might be thinking It should be the other way around. Like, surely, Zootopia cares so much more about the animalistic nature of its world. Isn't that what furries are all about? No, it is precisely Mouse's refusal to explain or...
This is what I mean. I think I said, like, furry gatekeeping. This feels like furry gatekeeping. Like, you're just straight up being like, no, this is what it means to be a furry. You red line in the sand. This is what it means. Don't fucking at me. You know? Like, I don't know. What if you are a furry who's really into the fucking world building? Like, shut up, though. What do you fucking mean?
Justify its furry characters that makes it furry, because the imagery is self-justifying. Zootopia is stuck running around in circles, trying to work backwards from the central premise of animal species as a metaphor for human prejudice. It's only so lavish because it has no confidence in the inherent aesthetic value of animal imagery. Mouse is married to its imagery. It's not working backwards from anything. It's working forwards from the central aesthetic motif.
Somebody in chat just said I forget if it was I'm too stoned or I'm not stoned enough for this, but either way, man, yeah, something, I don't know. I need to be on like a 4th dimension level of consciousness to fucking pick up what's being put down here. And I've watched this twice.
Is vermin. Zootopia used animal imagery as a cute and fluffy metaphor for racism, and then built a huge heaping scaffold around.
Somebody says, Claw, this is bad faith. God damn it. Why are you people mad at me now? What did I do now? What's bad faith now? Watching this video what's bad faith? Fuck off.
Found it to justify itself. Mouse used animal imagery to evoke the empty eyes of a dead rat. The assumed symbolic desirability of animal imagery is one of the core facets of furry fandom media. The world building of our fiction and illustration is often non-existent in a way that will remind you a lot more of Mouse than it does of Zootopia. Furries don't need to justify their worlds being filled with animal people. That's just...
But again, a lot of furries might feel differently. There's probably already people in chat who are thinking, you know, this is like the people that say, like, the only way to play Dark Souls is this type of build. The other ways are invalid and weaken the game, the difficulty or whatever. And it's like, what do you mean? I just want to play that way. Everybody's fucking different. Why are you like rigidly defining what it means to be a furry and what makes Mouse more fucking furry than this other thing? What are you fucking talking about?
It's how we roll. It's expected. It's on the pamphlet that Lola Bunny gives you on the way in. Echo just takes place in fucking Utah. They're in Utah. It's just normal human Utah. Everything is the same except they have showers that spray you all over. The authors will even sometimes drop references to historical events.
Okay, well, here we go. You're not even hearing her out. You've come in with the idea that she's a zoophile and you're stubbornly sticking to that. This is about her own experiences. This is an opinion piece. Well, I want to explain to you that until last night, I had never really fucking heard of this person. The name was familiar, but I had no idea of what was going on with this person. I clicked on this video thinking that I would get a furry or somebody analyzing furries and explaining the psychological nature of sex appeal of like animal features and stuff like that. And instead what I got was a video that made me think that this person might be a zoophile. Which is evidently a video of them explaining that they are not a zoophile. Like, I had no prior context. This was the video that was apparently trying to tell people who keep saying on Twitter or wherever that, oh, Patricia Taxon is a zoophile, whatever. This is the video that's in response to that and trying to debunk that. And this is the first piece of content I've ever seen from this person, and it's made me, and upon watching it again, it has made me think that there are a lot of very sus things in here. So no, it's not in bad faith, sorry.
It's like 9/11, seemingly only for the amusement found in knowing that there was a furry 9/11 in this universe.
The Alamo exists.
Hey, don't look at me, man. Mexicans still get shit for the fucking Alamo.
Were there orcs there too?
But Echo goes further than this. It is so completely unconcerned.
We gotta have the Lindsay Ellis references there. So why we're bringing up fucking Bright, the movie nobody has seen since the day it came out, basically. Nobody fucking watched it when it was new, and I don't think you probably can't even find that shit on Netflix anymore. But I guess we get more into Bright, by the way.
With world building, that it just completely unshackles the animism of the cast with their existence as agents in the story. Let's go over some facts. The wolf is Hispanic, the fennec fox is native. In Route 65, Carl describes himself as being white as apple pie when, furthermore, their human races matter to the story, where their species is inconsequential. It's all aesthetic. The reason for
So, okay, you're not defining why that makes it more furry, really. You're explaining the differences, sure, and that's cool, but I'm not really hearing why that's making it more furry or something, or like specifically that checks all the boxes or something. This is all just definitions that you have created. And that's why I'm saying this is like furry gatekeeping. It's strange.
A character to be that species is all character design. It's all symbology decided on a case-by-case basis.
I'm kind of fucking thinking about skipping over this part about the fucking, like, defining what it means to be furry or whatever, because we just go on and on with this for a fucking long time. We talk about Turning Red, we talk about Beastars, we talk about this one black metal album that actually sounds pretty cool, and I kind of want to listen to it now. Yeah, it goes on for a fucking while, and I don't know, I guess we'll keep watching, because there's good stuff in there. I don't really want to skip around, but god, it goes on, but it also goes nowhere, and it just feels like it's defining, it's gatekeeping what it means to be a fucking furry, like, by this person's definition and their opinion, and like, for some reason, I don't know why they need to do that. I guess that, but it's like they need to define it in a way that isn't this, though, because the video's about the ethics of boinking animal people or furries or however you want to describe that, and so you need to define why their like human characteristics or whatever are important. You're now defining that the important thing about furries are their animal characteristics and none of the world shit around them. It's basically just people, but they look like animals, and you started the video talking about all Alpha and Omega, where again I can't get past this. The opening fucking thing in the video was using the example of a movie that's just about wolves. They're just wolves. They're just like they're not even anthro. They don't stand on two legs or whatever. They're just fucking wolves. Though they're not animal people, they're just animals with personalities because it's a kid's movie. So like, it's very different things, and the way they're trying to define furry is in this other sort of abstract way, which is not really helping with the fucking point of the video. Like,
animal Flynn is enigmatic,
and now we're just talking about this fucking furry sex VN thing for like a half an hour about all the characters that you can romance in this furry sex game.
You spend most of the game trying to get in his head, which tracks with him not having any of those big fluffy ears to tell you what he's thinking. Chase is a mediocre dude who's good at swimming, but he doesn't think it counts because he's an otter and all otters are good at swimming. It's cute and also something only a furry would come up with. Echo's world does also have interspecies prejudice in it, like there is speciesism in the game, but Importantly, it exists on the same general plane as the character designs do. It's floaty, indistinct, a general poetic gesture that never matters in the same way the human prejudices do. You ever think about how Netflix's Bright would have been way better if they had just established—
No, I've never ever thought about Netflix's Bright since like the fucking day it came out, dude.
just have some of the orcs be black in the way some humans are black. Like, just to avoid the symbolic confusion.
Now, what do you mean by black in the way that humans are black? You mean just have black-colored orcs? Do they not? I mean, okay. Do you mean have them have bling and chains? Have the Arlong Fishmen hip-hop trap beat play every time that certain orcs come on screen? I guess you could do that.
Of having orcs be both a stand-in for black people and then act alongside actually black Will Smith. You can make it a whole thing. Like, Jacoby could be a white orc, and the kid he helps out could be a black orc.
I like how we know the names of these fucking people off by heart in this video. Just Jacoby. Like, yeah, my favorite movie ever that I've totally watched, Bright, and all of the characters in that movie that I know by name. What the fuck?
Not seen Bright in 3 years. Maybe Lindsay Ellis would have a few things to say about that, but...
Lindsay Ellis... What is with these YouTubers? I'll watch a video and then some guy will be like, I could have stuffed a whole ContraPoints video into this part, but I'll save you from that. And I'm just like, oh my god, and I just click away from it. Just the weird, like, Quentin Reviews simping for, like, ContraPoints, or Lindsay Ellis, always Lindsay Ellis. And it's the same thing with the fucking, like the people who love Critical Drinker and are like, oh my god, Drinker? Oh, we can get him on the podcast? Oh my god, bro! Like, bro, settle the fuck down. Like I don't know. I don't know. The strange reverence for certain very okay YouTubers. Okay at best.
It would be a sounder film politically. The furries had it right all along.
What was the 9 races? Were Mexicans one of the 9 races?
But symbolism is not the only way that animal imagery can be understood as intrinsically desirable. There is also the sensory. Turning Red is the best Pixar movie, by a lot, actually. Maylin is a young hotshot who thinks she has her whole life figured out. But this self-perception is disturbed by the fact that she turns into an enormous fluffy animal sometimes.
So we're talking about the movie Turning Red and saying it's the best Pixar movie. I gotta tell you, I really like the movie Turning Red. I'm a big fan of that movie. I thought it was quite nice. It's not the best Pixar movie. What the fuck are you talking about? I mean, it's a good movie, but come on, man. We're talking about Toy Story, Incredibles, Bug's Life, fucking WALL-E, Company. What are you talking about? The best? Yeah, come on now. It's a good movie.
More importantly,
it's a good movie. But
that her entire personality is built around placating her abusive mother. It's sweet, it's beautiful, it's touching, it made me cry waterfalls, and it is...
I didn't even remember Up. Like, a lot of them I haven't even seen. I haven't seen Up. I didn't see WALL-E. I don't think I've ever seen Ratatouille. I saw, like, I used to be the biggest fan of, like, Toy Story 1 and 2. I watched Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, and I think Incredibles was, like, the last one I really paid a lot of attention to. Yeah. Pretty much everything after that I kind of haven't watched. Then in recent years, I did watch Turning Red. I watched the movie Soul, which isn't Pixar, I don't think, but it was for like a current Disney animated movie. It was all right. It was pretty good. But I really should probably watch Ratatouille. Where is Ratatouille on this? Does Ratatouille count as a fuckable animal according to this person? I want to know. I need to know where Ratatouille falls on the Harkness test or whatever.
Several times furrier than Zootopia in conception. This one's a lot simpler to explain. Like, the big red panda monster might not be all that familiar
Soul was
with
Pixar?
furry in design, but
that was pretty good.
The ethos behind her depiction is furry as hell. Simply put, in a way I have scarcely experienced, Turning Red is incredibly concerned with the sensory experience of being the big red panda monster. Precious time is spent to let you know that she stinks. She takes up a lot of space. She leaves paw prints on the walls.
So I guess it's about, again, the tactile feeling, the sensory experience. And once again, when you start talking about this stuff, you are talking about how much you love the animal features of animals. Like how much you love the fur and all of that, you know? And so it's again, it's not really doing a great job of disproving the feeling that this might be a bit of a strange individual. Again, the person who was like, this is in bad faith. Like, I don't know, is it in bad faith when there's a joke in the video about, if I had my option, I totally would fuck my, and then it just cuts off and cuts to a picture of like an animal, you know? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that's within only this video, having seen nothing else from this person other than the video that preceded this, Art Furry's God, which was a lot less fucking sus than this. Having not seen anything else from this person, I have not read the fucking Kiwi Farms or whatever info is out there. I don't know. I just saw this video and thought that this was fucking noteworthy. And again, maybe I read too much into it, you know? But when we're focusing so much on the this is the best Pixar movie because it focuses on how it feels to be the little panda. Like, yeah, I don't know. Just stop touching that cat from the previous scene, please.
Self-soothes by rubbing the hairbrushes in her fur. I do that. And furthermore, the sensory nature of this transformation is a big part of how we as an audience come to understand it as something desirable, because she's huge and she can hug her friends.
Oh yeah, that's the stuff.
Finally, someone said it. Ever since I was 6 years old, I've been staring longingly at the fuzzy bodies of my favorite animal characters, wondering what it would be like to touch them, to be them, and turning red just makes it the primary motivation of the protagonist. Zootopia harbors no curiosity for what it would be like to hug.
I mean, yeah, you know, people in chat are saying literally me. That's the thing. There are parts of this video that are kind of like, okay, I can see where you're going with this, sure. Somewhat. And you kind of start to buy into it a little, and then there's just, they'll say something where you're like, wait a second, what? And you kind of have to snap out of it a little. That's been my experience a few times with this.
Clawhauser. They don't even raise the question. The base carnal desire to be a fluffy creature is one that plagues us furries daily, and it affects the art we make a lot. Furry porn, and also like human porn made by furries, has an ineffable sensory quality that is unmistakable.
Oh,
one of the
jeez.
first choices in Echo
I don't think there was anything sexual there, but it's kind of hard to fucking tell with all of the lines and stuff. We're just gonna move on.
when
This video's on YouTube. It's probably fine.
Chase gets a little sleep.
Here we are talking about this fucking gay sex furry porn game again. Again. We're just talking about this for some reason. Like, we can't talk about anything else. We can't have any other references to other things. We have to talk about this extremely obscure game that 1% of the fucking population that has just watched this video alone has probably ever fucking played.
And he has to pick which of his friends to lean on. It matters nothing to the story, but it's very important for the furry gaze. Well, in this case, the choice is pretty obvious. Like, everyone I know who played the game chose to lean on Carl, except for Jack Saint for some fucking reason. But this is the furry essence, the texture.
This is, I guess, a bread tube adjacent person with Jack Saint, Lindsay Ellis. The video, the description has a link to some other guy's channel that's not even in the video or referenced at all, so I don't know why it's linking to this other person's channel, but yeah, definitely a web ring of individuals, just like the old web rings of 2004. You know, it really takes me back.
Of the character being almost more important than their appearance.
Oh yeah, movie
Carl
Bob
is
too.
chubby, but TJ has softer fur. It makes sense for a furry visual novel to ask you.
Yes, he is. Oh man. God damn it! No, not again. They are directly comparing and contrasting like the tactile elements of the furriness of turning red to this gay porn sex game for some reason. So that is strange. Yes, that is strange.
Which of your friends would make a better pillow? I found that these first two axes, the symbolic and the sensory, really cover a lot of bases with regards to furry quantification. You might find that a lot of core furry fandom work excels in both categories, whereas stuff that has anthropomorphic creatures in it but isn't necessarily core furry work usually tends to satisfy one but not the other. Beastars, for example, is sort of Zootopia-like in its strictly animal-centric world building with lots of scaffolding, but it is also very interested in what it's like to be a fuzzy carnivorous dog man. Like,
You know,
there's layers. There's layers to this. But
there's layers, like ogres and onions and stuff. I don't know why I'm thinking about ogres at this point in time. I have never seen Beastars. I've never seen Zootopia. I've never read Mouse, and I've never played this gay porn furry sex game. So I don't have much that I can really say about a lot of the parts of this video where I can't personally be like, oh no, Beastars, blah blah blah. I don't know. That's why I was thinking of skipping over this, but it's important to get all parts of the argument. You know, we don't want to argue in bad faith or anything.
Criteria aren't enough. Like, the symbolic and sensory nature of animal imagery could also very well serve a therianthropic end rather than a furry one. Therian media is a broadly overlapping but still distinct category from furry media. A good example would be the album Natan's Madrigal by Ulver.
So, we're now distinguishing Therians from furries, which is pretty common. However, I want to keep in mind, everybody, that this person is saying that they are a dog person, and that they have puppy brain chemistry and they're a dog. So, I'm not sure whether you're a Therian or a furry, or both, I guess, maybe. But I think there is definitely some real overlap there. If they are separate, they certainly aren't always separate.
It's possible animal imagery.
That's
by
fine.
Autism. As
Oh,
it is
right,
the
autism.
elusive third category, whose absence causes me to classify Natan's Madrigal as being Therian media rather than furry.
The ever so slightly autistic.
Autism.
The Rodfellows movie is a film that was
Anyways, autism.
sent to me by Jack.
So, the Rodfellows movie, it's funny that this is brought up. This is actually pretty funny because people have told me to watch this on stream before. And I think I watched a little bit of it, and it was not something I deemed worth watching more of, particularly. It seemed kind of just unwatchable, frankly, but apparently this person likes it in an ironic way, and maybe they saw something I didn't. Jack Saint apparently linked it to them. And there's a whole part here about the autistic furry nature of the Rodfellows. Don't look at the legs. So we're going to get into that.
Minutes.
Oh, hey, Kento.
Oh, hey, Cody.
Can I sit down here? Can't be missing out on other things.
I see why not.
It's the best possible case for using the word autistic as an insult. The Rodfellows movie reportedly took like 5 years to make, and also apparently had some issues behind the scenes, which I won't be getting into because then my primary resource would be a website that has my docs. The Rodfellows movie
Excuse me, say that again?
5 years to make, and also apparently had some issues behind the scenes, which I won't be getting into because then my primary resource would be a website that has my docs.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, that is a shame. However, you know, that might speak to the useful nature of Kiwi Farms to some extent.
The Rodfellows movie, Rod follows a ensemble cast of funny animals and one 10-year-old as they hang out for extended periods of time. It's like 20 minutes before the antagonists show up and cause what resembles a plot to start.
Turn down for what?
Xander and Xaden, agents of chaos, disrupt the contented home life of our main cast with epic pranks.
Oh,
Luckily,
epic
they
pranks.
were caught on footage by the camera they used to record themselves shitting
I've
every
got
day.
footage.
Idiot.
They've made no good changes to our house.
What follows is a pretty much incomprehensible back and forth as the Rodfellows seek revenge for this misgiving repeatedly. Some of it requires intimate knowledge of Go Animate lore to...
So we're basically... Why we're in the fucking laundry room sitting on a... I was gonna just talk about something else, but why we're in the laundry room and holding a fucking Arm and Hammer and sitting on a fucking washing machine surrounded by rakes and asbestos and fucking insulation. Why we're doing that, I'm not entirely sure right now in this video. I'm not entirely sure, but we sure are. You know, we go on for a little bit about this, talking about this Go Animate fucking Rodfellow movie and how it's great and it has a mecha fight in it or something. and how it's super cool and autistic, and this person's autistic, and all this stuff about autism.
Pervasively challenging part of this viewing experience has to be that the voice cast doesn't really know how to talk. Like, it's very difficult to tell what any character is saying, and it gets a lot harder when we enter the third act. The cast multiplies threefold, and they have to differentiate all of those new characters with funny voices.
Yeah, and there's described the different accents of autism.
As is every kind of autism accent there is. You know it when you hear it.
But just be sure you bring your plate into the kitchen when your plate is empty.
So, you want to watch hockey with me while you eat?
Yeah, because eating them at the table is kind of boring, so I want to bring in some entertainment while I eat.
That's the voice of someone who conceptualizes every word in the sentence as its own event. Now,
see, there's parts of this video that I do find charming. I can't lie. That is and yeah, with that Rod Fellows thing, it does. That's a good point to point out. There are different like accents of autism. You know, that is funny.
Look, I'm not making fun. Truly, the only reason I can talk like this is because my teachers used.
Well, this is an autistic person talking about autistic stuff, so I think they're allowed to say that. It's not offensive. How dare you be offended by that, chat members? But however, this part of the video is one of the twists.
Of someone who conceptualizes every word in the sentence as its own event. Now, look, I'm not making fun. Truly, the only reason I can talk like this is because my teachers used fucking dog training tactics on me. I want what they have. Please, God, let me take the mask off. Yep.
Dog training tactics from the teachers. Now, I don't know if that's entirely true. I don't know if that's just a joke. Maybe it's a channel meme. Or it could be entirely true. And that could be answering a lot of questions right now about how somebody winds up this way. But there's still more questions to be answered, certainly.
Be one of those callers that makes it so you can only speak in barks that Puppy Girl Twitter keeps talking about. Detroit become nonverbal.
Well, she could say it next time.
Yeah, she could. Do you imagine her being a butler one day?
Do you imagine her being a butler one day? I'm voice training. Furthermore, the dialogue is written with a not quite full understanding of human communication. Like, they don't really understand how the words they're using string together.
Man, I'm sorry, but can you maybe, like, you may wish to get a haircut at some point in time. Not even like cut it all off, but just like get let's say like some of the loose ends dealt with or something. And then this up here, there's like the parted in the middle situation. I don't know. I don't know. It's so much hair. I just can't imagine having that much hair. Like having to deal with that and it's just all over. Like it's falling out. Like just by nature of having long hair, it's going to fall out, you know? And you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be just covered in fucking hair and like, why would you ever want hair like this? Just go to the fucking barber.
So much of the indescribably compelling nature of this film can be found in just the endless moments of strange wording that makes your brain short circuit.
Boys know what time it is.
Let me guess, bedtime?
Yeah, it's pretty late out.
You guessed it, and you are correct.
I know, she's like 10 feet tall. How can she make it to doors that are 6 feet or shorter?
Oh,
yeah.
We're in some serious dead meat now!
Listen, every line is iconic. The entire film looks like MS Paint fetish art.
And I don't know why we're talking about this so intently in regards to the fucking autistic nature of furries. I mean, I guess it's a good example of it, but it's so much of this video just feels like weird tangents about stuff that are kind of related, but not really making too much of a point.
Of autism's main cultural exports. There's an inflation fox.
Wait, what is?
Serious dead meat now!
Listen, every line is iconic. The entire film looks like MS Paint fetish art, one of autism's main cultural exports. There's an inflation fox in the cast, and his articulated tummy constitutes the most complicated animation in the whole film. Every once in a while, copyrighted characters just explain why this is autistic as shit. And then I hung out with my best friends, RJ and Shokichi and the Marble Blaster Marble. The Rodfellows movie is the furriest possible piece of art. It's a movie about animal characters that was itself made by outsiders of humanity. It's human art made by animals. Furry. Chouette.
We're just calling furry autistic people animals here. That's cool. That's really cool. So, we're comparing, perhaps not completely intentionally, but on some level, we are comparing autistic people to animals at this point in time in this video. And why would we be comparing those things, those two things together? Well,
a piece of art. It's a movie about animal characters that was itself made by outsiders of humanity. It's human art made by animals. Furry. Chouette is a novel written by my mom about the experience of raising me.
I just felt that if my mum had written this book about me, it would destroy me.
Hello. In this novel, not uncontroversially, she represented my autism by casting me as a wild animal, an owl-child hybrid. And just so...
So, I would like to point out then, as I realized last night, that this video is the sequel to that book. This video, or if you prefer, that book is the prequel to this video. So that book, which I pointed out earlier on the bookshelf, it had a spine that stuck out to me, and I noticed it among the other books besides White Tears. I noticed on the bookshelf when I watched it last night. I noticed that book, and they bring it up here. About how mommy raised me to be a wild animal autistic creature. And the teachers taught me as a dog boy or whatever, as a little dog, fluffy dog person. Yeah. So I guess because they're autistic, the mom, I don't know, she wrote this book. I was considering buying it when I saw this part. And there's that clip of the lady like, if my mom wrote this about me, it would destroy me. I think there's a lot of questions being answered about how a person winds up in this kind of scenario. Like I say, this is the sequel to that book. You raise your child as like it's like a fictional story. Like it's a mom whose son who is born or child or whatever. I forget. I don't know what gender the child is in the story, but the child is born and it turns out to be an owl creature, I guess, and that's basically like a metaphor for raising a kid with autism, I guess. And that sounds pretty fucking weird to like instill within your child that kind of thinking, you know, that you're like an animal or something. I don't know about that. And here we are. Here we see the end result of such a thing. So it's actually great. We can actually see what that sort of thing led to.
So we're clear, she didn't know about any of this business. My mom independently came up with the idea to represent me as an animal.
The dad is an owl?
In the flashbang that DreamWorks let off 3 inches from my face, Mr. Wolf is, for all intents and purposes...
Somebody says this is getting depressing. Yeah, and then somebody else is... None of this is haha. Yeah... The entire childhood of this person that they had seemed to have been the parents and teachers raising them like an animal. Because they're autistic, I guess? Teaching them like they're an animal, like they're a dog. Which is, I guess, insightful into the world of a furry autistic person, I guess. And why they might wind up that way. Which is kind of what I was hoping to get out of this video before I found out it was going to be kind of sus as shit. So I guess that's good. You know, kind of so almost accidentally, I'm like, oh, okay. All right, then. So interesting. We were just moving on from that, by the way. We're now just talking about a completely different fucking Pixar movie or whatever, DreamWorks, whatever this is. Completely different movie, some unrelated thing about autism and furries, whatever. Moving on from all of that. Nothing we need to unpack there at all. Don't worry about that.
Dude, he walks around like a fella. He's a hardened criminal. But the film conceptualizes him as being inexorably a wolf. He snarls, he wags his tail, he likes to be scratched behind the ears. The human populace fears him as if he is an actual predatory wolf. In the 11th hour of Takahata's Pompoko, long after the Tanuki's final stand against their ecological annihilation has been recuperated to serve the needs of empire and capital, the existentially horrifying notion is raised that to ensure survival, the Tanuki have to take the form of humans and assimilate into their culture. The magic system in Pompoko is mystical and spellbinding, but through some manner of impossible Ghibli sleight of paw, it is always viscerally apparent how...
I am so unaware, by the way. What the fuck? We have to go back. What was the point of bringing up this movie? I'm sorry, what was this about? What was this tangent about? You talked about how your mom fucking raised you like an animal or something, and that's so much more impactful than 99% of this video just rambling about fucking some gay sex fucking VN that you played. I don't give a shit about your fucking gay sex furry game. I don't care. Tell me more about how your mom thought you were a fucking animal autistic child and the teachers raised you like a fucking animal, because that is fucking weird. That is explaining a lot of things, and I don't care about the bad guys.
With the idea to represent me as an animal. Why'd she do this? In the flashbang that DreamWorks let off 3 inches from my face, Mr. Wolf is, for all intents and purposes, just a guy. He's a dude. He walks around like a fella. He's a hardened criminal, but the film conceptualizes him as being inexorably a wolf. He snarls, he wags his tail, he likes to be scratched behind the ears. The human populace fears him as if he is an actual predatory wolf. In the 11th hour of Takahata's
what? What does this have to do with anything? What, because he's a fucking, because he's like, it's a furry movie and they are reacting to his wolf-like characteristics as an animal, I guess. Fucking so what? I don't... Pompoko.
Some manner of impossible Ghibli sleight of paw.
Sleight of paw.
It is always viscerally apparent how exhausting it is to maintain different forms for long periods of time. There's lots of training montages of the raccoons just walking about, very clearly.
None of this is relevant.
Clearly using 100% of their brain power to just remain human. Any small moment of distraction or...
I mean, I guess it's relevant in the sense of people who are neurodivergent and literally a minor, who are, you know, trying to get through life and seem human or seem whatever, I guess. I suppose so, but it's such a tangent that probably, this is what I was saying earlier, this feels like it's like a very unrelated, I mean, it's not probably what they were going for. I don't think when they made this fucking movie, the intention of the movie was for it to be representing people who, and fuck you too, representing people who feel like they can turn into fucking cats and dogs and shit. I don't think that was what it was. I think it was just a fucking fantasy fucking animal movie or whatever. But we're reading into it, this whole thing about like the mental strain that it takes to remain human in this human world and to put on your mask of being a human when really you're secretly, in all ways except physical, just a wolf. Or a fucking tanuki or whatever. I guess that's how it's relevant, but like, man, this just, it's the whole fucking video just feels like a series of tangents. It's so frustrating.
Perhaps panic being enough to turn them back into an animal. With this context, we can fully understand the weight of the final scene. Just watching Shokichi go about his day, catching the subway. Clearly a seasoned magic user at this point, but still, if you look close, visibly struggling to maintain the mask. And then chancing across a little tanuki party that his old friend is having in the middle of an open field at night, running into that field, throwing his clothes off, turning back into an animal and embracing his friend for the first time in years, altering the course of my fucking life. So we can all agree that Lieutenant Data can—
So, okay, we're getting into Lieutenant Data now.
Years, altering the course of my fucking—
So, they watched Pompoko. Sobering reflection on Japan's colonial project with multiple perspectives on revolutionary action. Oh, wait, am I an animal? Okay. So yeah, like somebody in chat said, like, there's clearly a story here, but it's being buried. Yeah, Like, there's a lot of stuff that is leading towards, oh, you watch this movie, and your parents did this, and your fucking teachers did this, and that's why this is happening. And we're not really getting, that's like the fucking undertones of this video. The main takeaway is supposed to be that this movie, I don't know, makes you is supposed to feel like how fucking animal people feel like they're whatever. Whatever.
Life. So we can all agree that Lieutenant Data can definitely feel emotions, right? Like, the show definitely wants us to believe that he's an unfeeling android, but
no, that doesn't.
No one could ever write or perform a character to legitimately give that impression. Instead,
the show wants us to feel that he's like an unfeeling android, does it? Is that why one of the most notorious episodes of the show is the one where it's spent arguing that he's a man with feelings and thoughts? Is that why that episode exists? You know? That one that everybody always brings up that I won't even name. I don't even need to name the episode. Everybody knows the episode. Do you know the episode? Of course he's a fucking... What do you mean? I mean, there's like, they toy with that, but it's very quickly dropped that no, he's obviously just a person.
The impression we get is that Lieutenant Data has internalized that notion.
Yes, now we're talking about Star Trek.
To other people, to the point
for some
where he
reason.
Tell you that himself, even though he very clearly does. It's fucking autism. The autistic quality of furry media is by far the most.
What do you mean furry media? It's fucking Star Trek. But you're talking about furries, and you're talking about autism and all of this. Even talking about Star Trek, like Star Trek was not. I mean, yeah, you can certainly read. This is why I'm saying, like, a lot of interpretations of stuff where it's like, you can certainly read autism into Data, I guess, but like, I don't think that was the point. So, I mean, that's a valid interpretation to have. I don't want to take that away from you, but there is just consistently this assertion that such and such is autistic. This is autistic, blah, blah, blah. And it gets really kind of frustrating.
Important aspect. It's the defining feature. It's the quality of being simultaneously human and inhuman. It's easy to identify in works like these, Chouette, The Bad Guys, Pompoko, Star Trek, where humans and non-human humans are placed side by side intentionally for contrast. But this quality persists even in works without this direct line being drawn. This piece, by Papier Confetti, illustrates what I'm talking about nicely.
Okay, no.
With one image, they managed to brain blast me in the way that I was brain blasted by the end of Pompoko.
So we're now talking about we've moved on from Star Trek now. We're now talking about some random piece of fan art, I guess. That's great. I'm glad that this is in the video. Or not fan art, but just like random piece of like furry art that was found. And this is like an important part of this video. This is not the only time this happens in the video, by the way. This happens a couple more times. So that's cool.
When I was 10. Papier. So the main unique design feature of this character is that they have shaved off their fur and only left patches on her paws and her face. This is, on a surface level, a really cute way to canonically represent poodling, but
poodling
it also makes my brain stop working if I think about it for too long. Thinking about what it would feel like, emotionally, to hold his upper arm, feel something that feels approximately like human skin, and then look up at her face and understand in my heart of hearts that they're a dog through and through.
I'll be right back. Yeah, so let's just roll that back real quick.
If I think about it for too long. Thinking about what it would feel like, emotionally, to hold his upper arm, feel something that feels approximately like human skin, and then look up at her face and understand in my heart of hearts that they're a dog through and through. Because some things...
So we've just used his upper arm, her face, and they're a dog, by the way. I just want to highlight that. I just want to highlight that this dog, because I was already going to go, wait, I thought you said his upper arm, wait, and then it was in fact all three. Fucking pronouns! Fucking gender ambiguity!
The shape of his muzzle, her claws, even their shaved skin has a similar color to their full fur, implying that it's already starting to grow back and would feel a bit like a peach if you pet it. Furries live for this duality. Our work overwhelmingly concerns human situations and affairs, but with this comes an endless fascination and obsession with the animal nature of these characters. Echo is about people. It's a human story that takes place in human Utah, but it is very important that the prose points out that Chase has stubby little leggies.
Stubby leggies, ooh woo. The whole thing about this dog who is a human but also a dog, and you hold their arm and they're a human, but then you look up at their face and they're a dog. That sounds absolutely fucking horrifying. That sounds terrifying. That sounds like a fucking horror movie monster. What do you mean? I don't want that. Jesus God, holy fuck. It's like just a dog head on top of a person's body, but they've got like a fucking dog paw for hands. Holy shit, that's like a Silent Hill monster. What the fuck? No, ew.
Animal nature of these characters. Echo is about people. It's a human story that takes place in human Utah, but it is very important that the prose points out that Chase has stubby little leggies. I repeat, Chase has stubby little otter leggies. It is imperative that you understand. We write human stories about fur. Paws, tails, ears, teeth, snarling, barking, biting, infecting the human form with the intrinsic being of an animal. The idea of possessing a human body yet remaining inexorably an animal, that's autism. It's me. I might look—
Stop calling autistic people animals. I know you are one, so you're not— it's not my place to say that that's offensive, but that's not— I don't think that's cool. I don't know, man. I think it is still my place. If I saw a black guy calling all black people fucking something horrible and dehumanizing, I would still be like, hey, yeah, I don't know if you need to do that, you know, necessarily. You don't need to constantly be comparing autistic people to animals. That's strange. That seems like something that they have internalized as like an intrinsic thing. I'm autistic and therefore I'm an animal person, ooh woo. And I want to point out, I mean, I'll save it. I'll save the ultimate deduction of this, the thing that I kind of figured out because it's toward the end when I figured it out. We aren't to the worst of it yet, by the way.
Like a human, you can squeeze my upper arm and it'll feel a bit like human skin, but the peach fuzz emerges when I open my fucking mouth. This is what furry art is.
Yes.
The symbolic, the sensory, and the autistic.
You certainly autisticized this video pretty hard. I went in assuming it would tell me something, and it told me that, and just so much more, you know?
Mammals, right? Or no, they're human.
Can we acknowledge, by the way, that the little interstitial music parts that are happening with Trisha Paytas or these, like, dancing people and this thumping music beat, I assume that's him. Ah, fuck, God. I assume that would be their music that they made them, because they're musician. I would assume. They are not good though. Interstitial music moments. I've noticed they're not very good. I've got to say they kind of remind me, if anybody else has noticed, just these parts.
The art is the symbolic, the sensory, and the autistic.
Mammals, right? Or no, they're human.
I don't know what the point of that is, and what, I mean, I guess was that just saying that autistic people are still human, even though you keep calling them animals? I don't know. But it's just like this weird, quick little aside, and it just reminds me of the Dogs Eating Dogs 6 things, where he would have like the overlapping Mario music, and we would be like covering our ears, calling it penis music. It's quicker, it's shorter, but it's very chaotic. It's giving me anxiety watching this video. Anyways, bye Pringles.
A lot of well-meaning people ask me how I want to be treated if I'm a dog. I want to be treated like a dog, but
so I said that this video hasn't gotten to the worst part yet. And from here on out, it's pretty bad.
People ask me how I want to be treated if I'm a dog. I want to be treated like a dog, but A lot of you have never met a dog who's also kind of a person. I understand the confusion. For this reason, I am inserting this interlude into the video so I can let all of my human allies know how I would like to be interfaced with, friends and non-friends alike. So,
human allies. So yeah, this person thinks they're a dog. How about that?
I identify as a dog. I don't care if you're the kind of person who doesn't really go along with roleplay. Calling me a human being is misgendering me. Put me in a fucking Blair White video, see if I care.
So there's a lot to unpack here. For one thing, dog is not a gender. I know that you're joking, probably. But there's a lot of conviction to what's being said here about being a dog, and we continue, and it continues to go seriously into how this person prefers to be treated as a dog. And it seems to be pretty genuine for the most part. I don't know.
Calling me a human being is misgendering me. Put me in a fucking Blair White video, see if I care. But
and I just, Man. I don't know, man. I just don't know, man. Because I'm telling you, I feel like I'm having this, I'm taking fucking crazy pills, right? Because I just did this stream yesterday. I just did this stream. It's the same stream. It's a crazy person who exists. It is a crazy person who, frankly, is bringing down the things that they claim to care for. This guy, heel versus babyface. I agreed with some of the, like, you know, wokeness shit that he was talking about, but his fucking screaming about pronouns and shit was so insane and just so completely off base, and he seemed like such a smug prick, and I'm like, no, I just don't care for you. You are presenting yourself in a way that's extremely obnoxious to me, and even though I agree with some of your points and everything, I cannot follow. I cannot help but think that you are making those points look stupider by you having them. And this is another person where I'm just going to say, this is reminding me of like a Chris Chan, Jonathan Yaniv goon clown type of scenario where it's like, do you really need to be, I'm sorry, but do non-binary and trans people really need to have to deal with this? You know? Like this being normalized, this kind of thing, this, ooh, we're animals, haha. All of this shit is just not great for the optics of people trying to be taken legitimately as normal human beings. I'm sorry, it's just not working. It's not the best.
But furthermore, I'm not your dog. I am a stranger's dog that you might see on the side of the street. Because I'm very cute. You might lean down and say hi, give me a little good boy for my troubles, but anything beyond that is crossing a boundary.
Good boy? Hear that again?
Good boy for my troubles.
Now, I just want to point out,
street, because I'm very cute. You might lean down and say hi, give me a little good boy for my troubles, but
how could you? How could you? This person just hasn't shaved their mustache today, okay? How could you? That's not acceptable.
Anything beyond that.
Also, they're very cute, and they, you might just want to give them a pet.
And as much as I would like for every stranger to just intuitively recognize that I'm the sort of creature that they're allowed to touch and pet whenever they want, the optics of saying that are not good.
Yeah, the optics of this whole video are not good, friend. I gotta tell you, the whole thing where you explained how you were raised primarily as an animal, not good. It's not good. I don't know if I'll just say it now. My big takeaway with this video was around this point when we start really diving into the dog stuff and how this person believes that they're a dog. To some degree, that's not, I think, entirely a joke. Not entirely, at least. To some degree, this is genuine. And it was around this point where I'm like, well, wait a minute, if you identify as a dog and you feel that your autism makes you animalistic and dog-like or whatever, and you were raised as a dog, and you're fucking all about dogs and dog features, does that not all sound pretty much like the excuse that somebody would use if they were found out to be a zoophile? That was what my feeling was like, wow, you really believe this dog shit, so in other words, it's okay for you to do certain things because you're a dog. I'm not suggesting anything, I'm just saying that was what my opinion was when I saw this. Again, without any context of knowing anything about this person, and anything that they've done before or whatever. Why people are apparently already aware of them and calling them a zoophile. I was not aware of any of that before I did this stream. And yet I still watched this and came to around this part and was like, so if you're so intent on thinking that you're an ooh-woo cute good boy dog, then what the fuck? Then you're not really saying that it's not okay to fuck like animals or whatever. You're not saying that at all. There's no point in this video where they just stop and go like, now let's put my cards on the table here. Am I saying that, da-da-da-da-da-da? There's no, it's straight up denial. It's all just little allusions to things and things like this that make me go, wait, so that sounds like something you would use to justify it if something were to happen. I don't know. All just opinions and thoughts, not assuming anything, not suggesting anything, but man, that does sound like an excuse a little bit. The whole I'm a dog, so it's okay. Like, I don't know that that's the situation here, but that was what I immediately thought.
By all means, err on the side of dehumanizing. It's only a problem when it's combined with a sense of overfamiliarity. Like, any dog would react poorly to some human they don't know smothering them. But if I already know you, if we're friends, then I'm your dog. I'm your dog. On all levels except physical, I am your dog. There's a couple differences.
I really would not like that very much. Yeah, I don't really want that. I don't really want that. Thank you very much. But they're, if you know them, they are your dog. And I do have to ask, to an extent, what the fuck does this have to do with the ethics of boinking animal people? But I also have to ask, I guess that makes sense because you are saying you are an animal person. You are an animal person because you're autistic and raised like an animal, so you think that you're an animal person to some extent. I mean, that's an interpretation of it anyway. That's what it sounds like. This whole tangent sounds like it's related because this whole tangent about how your preferred doggy gender pronouns or whatever, fucking pronouns, about how you're a dog. It doesn't really seem all that related to boinking animal people, but my charitable interpretation is that you are saying that you are an animal person, and so therefore it's kind of okay. Is that what I'm getting from this? I mean, because maybe I'm reading into it too much. But that sounds like what I don't know. Like, what other reason is this fucking rant doing in this video? What is this doing in this video, talking about ethics of boinking animal people, if not to say that, well, I'm an animal person, so it's ethical. Like, this whole thing sounds like cope. Like, oh, I'm autistic. Oh, I was raised as a dog. Oh, I was raised as an owl boy. Whatever. And so now I'm, now it's okay, ethically. Morally, I can justify it after making this video essay. Is that what this is? I don't know. I'm not trying to put words in anybody's mouth, but that's what I'm fucking getting from this.
I like conversation. I will talk to you about video games and music theory, but otherwise, I am your dog and I am to be treated as such. Greet me as if you can see my little tail wagging behind me as you open the door. You can pet me, no questions asked. My body does not hold the same sanctity as a human body. You can literally just... If it seems weird, it's because I'm a-
This is awful. Who was saying before that this is fucking sad now? This is just getting sad. This is just getting sad. This is just revealing so much that was not, I think, intentional to be revealed here. Also, what are you wearing? Girl, what are you wearing, girl? You've got like this tag sticking out here. It looks like a bed sheet. What is this? I'm not trying to be mean, but bro, the style, the drip is not happening. With the bed sheet fucking thing you're wearing, you look like a tablecloth.
Different species than you! I have been forced to maintain a human form for the benefit of those around me for my entire life. If we're gonna meet up, we need to—
I have been forced to maintain a human form. Guys, this is— I don't know how I really am starting to think it's not too much of a stretch for me to say that this feels like an excuse. Like a big, heavy excuse to try to make you understand their mindset and be like, oh, well, that's okay then. I understand. You feel like an animal, so it's fine. This sounds like a bunch of fucking weird excuses. I'm sorry if that's not what it is and I'm being uncharitable and arguing in bad faith, but this is just what it sounds like. It sounds like a series of increasing excuses of like, I am not the same species as you. It's okay if I have, you know... Like, this sounds like it's leading in that direction.
Determine to what degree I'm allowed to take the mask off. Determining if I can sniff you to see what you smell like. Determining if I can rest my cute little muzzle on your thigh when you're sitting on the couch. Determining if I can bite you. Please let me bite you. The doggy metaphor has simply never stopped giving. It never ceases to describe aspects of my personality or proclivities that I have. It always was me, and it always will be me.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Yeah, so it's not good. It's not good. It's not a good part of the video. But it is revealing a lot. It's an incredibly irritating part of the video, frankly, but it is revealing a lot about the video, about the person in the video, about why this was made. Frankly, I don't think it was intending to be... Hang on a second. What is going on outside? Hold on. Hang on. There's like noises happening. Hang on. Sorry. House is getting robbed. Just BRB. Alright. I think the house is okay. I think we're not being robbed. It's fine.
It always was.
What were we talking about?
Of my personality or proclivities that I have.
Oh yeah, my proclivities,
me, and it always
right.
will be me.
I've always been a dog. It's fine. I've always been a dog. And therefore... Well, you know the rest.
Okay, I'm outing myself as someone who reads my own Rate Your Music comment boxes, but there's this comment that someone left on Task that I have been thinking about every day of my life. This is actually probably the most furry record she's made. Flowers was more lyrically oriented, but Visiting Narcissa and this definitely strikes me more so in that tactile aesthetic approach to some kind of transcendental furriness. If you were to show me these tracks without titles or cover art, I'd probably still be inclined to say this is furry.
So we're getting into some kind of music review segment about the transcendental furriness of sound or something. And I don't know what the fuck this really has to do with anything compared to the last segment, which had a lot to do with everything. This seems kind of unrelated, but alright. Yeah, it's just Mew's fault. It's all Mew. New tangent unlocked. Yeah, this random fucking, like ambient music, which doesn't sound bad or anything, but it's just ambient music, but people are really trying super hard to ascribe some kind of fucking meaning to it that doesn't exist. Some kind of like, oh, transcendental furriness. These fucking hipster people trying so hard, pretentiously trying so hard to like, oh yes, well, because there is a furry thing on the album. Transcendental furriness. Yes, I clearly see that in the, yes, the strings. Yes, I can see how furry they are. Like all this fucking, it's like I said before, it's like the worst Pitchfork review ever. This is this part of the video.
What the fuck are you talking about? But yes, you're correct. Visiting Narcissa, and especially Task, do have an ineffable furry quality to them that I have been consciously trying to emulate ever since I read that comment. If by the time you watch this video I've released Bicycle, please let me know if I succeeded. But if I am to quantify this, the
probably not,
transcendental
because that
furriness of
sounds
music,
unlikely.
I must first determine if it's possible for a non-furry artist to make a furry album. Like,
why?
Can I point to the furry qualities of a piece of music without referencing imagery or identity? Yes, Alexander Panos is what you get when a Spinning Records listener flies too close to the sun and gains the power of God. His debut album, Nascent, is radiant, cataclysmic, envy-inducingly technical, and the furriest fucking album ever made.
This is so unbelievably pretentious, talking about this album I've never heard of. That sounds like kind of weird ambient toilet sounds.
Bear granite. So, we all know that kind of track where the artist will just sing into a vocoder or...
He's now... oh boy. They are now saying that the nature of talking into a vocoder is kind of like autism in music. It sounds like broken computer talking people that have trouble communicating. That's what we're getting out of this segment
Similar
here.
but distinct, heavily auto-tuned a cappella piece is that there is also control. The soundscapes that make up the first half of this album are at once...
It's going back into the whole thing about how I am not a human because I am autistic. I am more of a computer or a robot or... I guess an animal. It is. I think you can say that this part is related in the sense, like, the funny thing about this video is that the more I try to search for, like, how is this fucking tangent related to anything, and I realize, like, oh, this is just further trying to explain away the fact that this person, like, is totally not a human, and it's okay for them to, it's ethical for them to boink animals. Or whatever the video is supposed to be about. Like, trying to get this back to what the video topic actually is, I'm just left to be like, oh, I guess that's the only fucking conclusion, is they're just not human. They're just like the robot in this album or something, so I guess it's okay. We can't hold them to human standards or whatever.
Pathetic, but also lush and vibrant. It's a vast internal space that writhes and boils upon exposure to the outside world, somewhere around here in the track list. It's an album that deliberates around in circles, endlessly, for the purpose of articulating exactly one thought. A helpless, desperate cry for validation, for connection.
Well, they get to release, yeah, what is that? They get to release music, eat Pringles, and watch movies, just like a real dog, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you're very good. Fail RP a little bit if your gender is dog. You're probably doing a little bit too much human stuff.
There's an implication that the creature at the center of this album falls short of the unattainable standard of ideal human life, even after the outside world has revealed its endless and
album reviews.
Equinox, even after
just like a real dog
has fully disassembled the sputtering electronics on Catch It. The closing track,
I get it.
mission statement, sees these two worlds in harmony. The synthetic internal space still rings loud amongst the acoustic ballad.
I get it now. Guys. Woof. Yeah, that makes sense. I wasn't really fully hearing him at first, but yeah, woof. Yeah, I get it.
Textural foldy of earth.
Just like a dog.
In this track, I sense a contentedness with remaining inhuman, and yet seeking human connection in spite of it, blooming where you're planted. Discovering an infinite joy through the simple nature of sound and the sensory experience of being alive, and perhaps getting a nice pat in the head and a belly rub too.
Could you, I don't know, just live like a person though? I mean, I know you're autistic. You know, when I say this sounds like I'm an awful person, but this is what they're saying in this video. Like, I know you're autistic and everything, and that makes you, like, totally like an animal or something, bro, but maybe you could just, you know, I don't know, live in the fucking real world and reality. I'm sorry, I don't know, I know that's, like, illegal or something, but you're not a dog. I don't know what to fucking tell you, dude.
I'm sorry, Alex. You made dog boy music. How else am I supposed to interpret this last passage? He's telling me to go be a dog.
How am I supposed to interpret this passage? Fetterless, be multitude, settle this and start anew. Bloom where you were planted, can't you understand it? Written in cecility. God, this music is like just for people like this. Just this fucking pretentious, writ large motherfucker. Come confess your life to me, untangle this becoming, won't you turn the right way? This does not in any way even slightly allude to being a dog, but this person is like, I'm sorry, Alex, you made dog boy music! And just like, like I said earlier, this fucking thing where furries have to fucking force their shit onto you. No, this is not anything to do with fucking being a dog. It's cool that you can interpret it that way based on your own experiences, but don't fucking tell the person that they made dog boy music. Fuck off.
Felt a phantom
This is so fucking nonsense. Look at these fucking lyrics and tell me this has anything to do with being a fucking dog. It references the thing that was said about blooming where you were planted, which I guess they got from this fucking lyric here. About, like, I am meant to be a dog and not be a human, so I'm going to bloom as a dog and not as a human, because that's where I was planted. I think that's what it's trying to get at. And that's the only thing I could maybe take away from this as being a dog, but that's because they already said that. If I had just seen this, I would not have read that as, oh, obviously, bloom as a dog, whatever the fuck I just said. Whatever stupid shit I just said is apparently what we're supposed to take away from this.
I'm sorry, Alex. You made dog boy music. How else am I supposed to interpret this last passage? He's telling me to
any other way. In any other way.
The last listen.
Phantom
It's symbolic. It's sensory. It's the most autistic music I've ever heard in my life. This is what I'm talking about. This is the transcendental furriness. There's this pic of an otter jock illustrated by Oversight.
Look at this super cool otter jock over here. We're now just analyzing furry porn, by the way. We're just analyzing furry porn now, I guess. This is important to the video. New tangent unlocked! Oh, I hadn't finished grinding out all my rewards on the last tangent, and already a new tangent is unlocked? God, there's so much content in this video. I'm gonna be here for days, plus the post-game.
And over on Twitter that I've had saved on my computer for months now. Like, every once in a while I will just tab over and look respectfully for a bit. So, the character here is essentially stock masculinity. He's the archetypical jock. I would almost consider it boring, but his ears. Look at his ears. It's fucking dialectics or something. The smarmy, masculine jock character who, nonetheless, has adorable fluffy ears that you can play with. Not in conflict. Taken simultaneously. Why do you think Zeus kept on courting women while disguised as an animal? Why was it understood as erotic for a man to also be a swan?
Okay, like, you gotta understand, it's less of a reach for me at this point to say that you're a zoophile than it is for you to say that that album was a dog boy album. You understand that? Like, at this point, you are now you're coming so close to just saying that it's okay to fuck animals. Because erotic nature of man as animal taken simultaneously, blah, 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 blah. Whatever this is like, whatever you're trying to get at, I don't think you're getting at it very well, and it's so much less of a reach. I'm not even saying that you are, I'm saying that it's less of a reach for me to assume that at this point than it is for you to take that passage of lyrics and assume that it's about being a dog. That was so much more of a reach than how I'm feeling right now. Like, this feels so much more founded in reality. Like, well, yeah, this seems like a whole bunch of cope. Like, this whole video is like a bit of a fucking subtle wink toward, yes, it's okay, it's ethical, and here's why.
Because it's the supreme masculine form embodied in a symbol of feminine grace and beauty. Not in conflict, but taken simultaneously. Inversely, I'm a puppy. I'm a good girl. But the artists who draw me, they simply must include the fangs. I don't even ask for it. They just do it because there's something about that small hit of ferocity inside of the feminine exterior. Not in conflict, but taken simultaneously.
I just really enjoy this frame here. You're now going into this whole thing about, like, fan art of you as a dog. Yeah, dogs have fucking fangs, dude. Like, yeah, that's the thing that a dog character is gonna have. You're just really looking way too deep into this. I bet those fangs are autistic, too. Not in conflict, but simultaneously.
Bitches are always asking how they can even adequately express a non-binary identity in a society that only recognizes...
Yeah, I thought you were a good boy, but apparently you're a good girl. I don't know, I'm not sure. You said that you were a good boy who deserved pats or whatever before, but now you're saying you're a good girl. I guess it's like the furry dog thing with the human skin, but the dog head that was getting all 3 pronouns at once. That's cool.
This is male and female. It's simple. You just need to bark really loud. Nascent is a decidedly masculine listening experience. It is imposing and technical. It uses the same 3 chords for the entirety of its runtime. The guy has an Imagine Dragons voice, and yet it is soft, vulnerable, delicate. I want to play with its ears. It's masculine and
what are you even talking about? Oh my god.
Feminine. It's father and son. It's human and inhuman. It's fucking furry!
Zask, this is just bringing up so much stuff that, like... I just don't know, man. It's almost over. Let's just let it happen.
What was this video about again? Something about animals. Oh, yeah. I should be allowed to fuck Shokachi. I should be allowed to commence a meet-cute with him while we're both...
Oh, by the way, this is the self-insert character over here. You know how Chris Chan draws Chris Chan? You know how Chris Chan thinks Chris Chan looks? Yeah.
In our human forms, growing closer to each other over the course of weeks while still hiding our true animal nature, each of us unaware of the animal in our midst. I should be allowed to accidentally catch him with his guard down, so at ease around me that his mask slips and I catch a glimpse of his tail or his ears or something gay like that. I should be allowed to comfort him after he realizes—
Why does bitch dress like Wonder Bread? Why does bitch dress like the polka dot man from the Suicide Squad movie? Why does bitch dress like Speedball?
This is his mistake. Show him the patch of fur that I discreetly allowed to cultivate on the back of my wrist, the public setting preventing me from going further for the moment. I should be allowed to take him up to my room, tell him that he can be himself around me, and transform into a Pomeranian as he transforms back into a Tanuki, and we just absolutely raccoon's ass. I was treated like a failed human my entire life, and you're surprised that my response was to become a dog and fuck other dogs?
Just give me a second here. I just gotta go. I had my incense earlier. I mentioned that I lit a stick of incense. It was called Go Away Evil. I think I need a little bit more of that. Bye-bye, evil. Bye-bye.
I was treated like a failed human my entire life, and you're surprised that my response was to become a dog and fuck other dogs? Fuck you!
Oh, fuck me. Well, fuck you, Luigi. Become a dog and fuck other dogs. Well, if you define dog as a human being pretending that they're a dog because they have a lot of problems, then okay, yeah, you can fuck those, sure. If you're defining dog as actual dog, though, or you wanting to fuck a raccoon or whatever this is, and this is what I was saying before, it was referring to an anime movie, Pompoko, I guess, the one where the Tanuki people turn into people or whatever, and saying that that's okay because they're people that have personalities and they have people forms and they have brains and blah blah blah. They're sexually mature and everything. But you are still ostensibly attracted to the personality of you are attracted to the raccoon, and there's a lot of just cope here that sounds like the kinds of things where, you know, you're claiming, oh, I wouldn't, you know, it's not ethical. Real life has ramifications, and my OCD makes me too moral, or whatever they said earlier in the video. But like this all sounds like the kind of coping stuff that people would say to justify, well, it's okay. It's not that the dog wasn't consenting, the raccoon wasn't consenting. It's that I'm also a raccoon, so you just don't understand. This whole thing sounds like cope. This whole thing sounds like cope. And for you to think again, whoever that was earlier that was like, this is in bad faith, Claw. This is the first video I've ever seen from this person. This is the first time I've ever heard of this person. Outside of maybe potentially seeing their name on like a Kiwi Farms thread that I didn't read. Or someone in chat was saying that their music is featured in Summoning Salt videos. So maybe that. Potentially, I saw the name there. But I had never watched anything from them. And now I've watched this video and one other, and I know nothing outside of these two things, and I'm like reasonably sure that this is I don't know, not a bully stream, not an accusation of anything, but man, how about that?
Ceasing yearning to romance the inhuman is not merely a permissible quirk, it's fucking universal. It isn't even just me. One could say that political power is wielded.
Okay, hang on.
Fuck you! The unceasing yearning to romance the inhuman is not merely a permissible quirk, it's fucking universal. It isn't even just me. One could...
I mean, you could argue that there is like a trope of a woman being ravaged by like a werewolf or something like that, that kind of thing. Animal, fuck me like an animal, that kind of thing. You could say that maybe, but that's about the extent of it. It really just sounds like projecting super hard. Wow.
Say that political power is wielded in this world by the strict denotation of who is and is not human. Art Spiegelman conceptualized his early beta version of Mouse as part of a funny animal comic anthology after the prompt caused him to note the similarities between the early anthropomorphic animations of Disney and minstrel imagery of the time. And it is a short walk from there where he landed on the metaphor of Jews as vermin. Do you think it's a coincidence that furries are near exclusively queer? That the first instance of someone identifying as a fursona was a black macro fetishist? And it doesn't even have to apply to, like, profound political forms of othering. Like, what if you're just a gamer and you have to hang around normies all day? Don't you feel like you're a doggy?
No. No. If you're asking me as a person who's disabled, as a person who has like, you know, various anxieties and whatnot, as an epic gamer, no. I do not feel like a doggy or any kind of animal. This is a problem that you have. You need therapy. I'm not saying that to be rude and be all heel versus babyface. I'm saying that because you need therapy because your fucking mom raised you as an animal and your school taught you as a dog using dog training techniques. According to you, according to info from this video, you are trying to ascribe this, you're trying to put this shit on everyone as if, oh, don't you feel like a doggy too? No, you do because you're kind of fucked up, I'm sorry to tell you. I hope that you can deal with that a little bit. But no. Holy shit.
You can tell me. I'd say the real weirdos are the one who managed to make it through life without being made to feel inhuman in some way, shape, or form. A
lot of people are made to feel inhuman, and that doesn't make them fucking wanna bang animals. Holy shit, this video sucks.
Don't care about finding the secret normal way to be attracted to or identify with animal symbology because it's literally already fucking normal.
So it's already normal, everybody. The ethics of boinking animals, it's A-okay.
To answer your question, is horny furry art morally comparable to bestiality? No. Because horny furry art is the most human thing on this fucking earth. And furthermore, no threat of being labeled a zoophile by normies should overwrite the blinding truth of the transcendental furriness within us all. It's not worth it. The quality of being simultaneously human and inhuman transcends any line drawn in the sand over exactly what amount of animism is morally permissible.
This is really bad. This is not a good look for you, my friend. I mean, if you really aren't concerned with normies calling you a fucking zoophile, then it's a good thing you made this video, because you're gonna get that a lot, I think. This is so much worse than whatever there probably was out there about you before that was making people call you a zoophile. I didn't need to see any of that. I just saw this, and I'm good.
Throw out the furry scale and take it all as one pulsating knot of truth. In 5 years, you'll all be assigned personas at birth. I play bocce with the...
You know how yesterday I was saying that heel versus babyface was pissing me off because he clearly was transphobic? I mean, he clearly is. He has a problem with trans people. He can't even say the term transphobic without turning it into transformer phobia or whatever. And my whole thing was like, if you want to be that way, like you can. That's your opinion. It's distasteful to a lot of people, and they will let you know that, but it's your opinion. But you can be honest with people and just say what it is. Like, say that you are transphobic. Just say it, because you don't seem to have much respect for the concept of transphobia or of trans people or whatever. You don't seem to have much respect for that in general, so you can just say it. This is the same fucking thing. This is the same fucking thing of somebody who's clearly outing themselves for just being basically being a zoophile. Just, yeah, it's okay. It's actually totally normal for everybody to want to fuck animals. Haha. Totally normal. And just all this layers and layers of cope and over-intellectualizing fucking appeals to authority, appeals to, oh, I'm so much smarter than you, so you should listen to me. And the whole fucking thing is just, why don't you just say it? Just fucking say it. Everybody who knows, everybody who's seeing this and will think that and think harshly of you already thinks that. And anybody who's on your side will already be on your side. So just fucking say it. What are you doing? Why are you pretending you're not? Why are you claiming, oh, the normies are gonna label me a zoophile? You have labeled yourself that. In all but the fucking name. In everything but the name. You've labeled yourself that. Pronouns! Sorry. Yeah, that's that video. And thus we are brought to the end of yet another live clip. I hope you enjoyed this, dive into the depths of human/animal depravity. If you did, be sure to check out some other stuff on my channel. I'm sure you'll find the Snake Thing videos appealing. Anything about Sangi or Giggly Goon Clown, you know, go for it. You might like it. And subscribe and like if you happen to find such actions appropriate. A big thanks as usual to my $20 and up excellent dudes on Patreon: Iron, Jolie Doomed, Darth, Viper Mutt, Hitori Senshi, Lolord, Sid Static, Archie Arch, Grumble, Jericho Jack 88, Sloppenheimer, Ralph Ryder, and my top boy CB. I appreciate you all very much. Be sure to give me a nice pat on the head for my troubles making this clip. This might be the last one for 2025. You know, what better way to close us out than yet another legendary moment of stream history. This is from late 2023, so only a couple short years ago, but, you know, already at that point, it's like I look back on this and I'm like, oh, this is from a much more naive time in my life, when I still thought everybody would be nice to me and I could be liked by everyone if I just articulate myself well. And as if most of the people that have problems with the stuff I have to say in a video like this aren't incredibly dishonest about the things that they believe. Oh, how time flies. But anyways, thank you very much for watching once again. I hope you enjoyed, and see you next year, I guess. Penis.